Well, I'm Barb Schlinker. I have my own company, Parker St. Clair Realty in Colorado Springs, and I'm so honored to be invited here to share with Rudy's people, with the people that he invited to talk about joining his team and all the wonderful marketing that he does. And really, everybody here shared and gave some fantastic tips on how to add $100,000 to your business. And there were so many of them that it's going to grow my business. I learned from Erika. You know, we all learned from each other. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm Erika Page, and I flew in this morning from Atlanta. I'm a team leader for Your Home So Guaranteed Realty in the Atlanta area. And it's funny, like Barb is saying, I'm on the panel, but I'm taking notes. In fact, I think I took more notes than the audience, just because it was so valuable. Of course, Rudy is high energy and always has good information, and you also can see his heart. He loves to share, and I think it was great that, as he said, not only was this informational, of course, for him in his office, but people walked away here with real tips, real clues on how to increase their income. I was one of those people that walked away with some tips, so I'm excited that we were here. I'm glad that everybody else could share, but I also got some good stuff myself. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
Okay, so one of my colleagues asked a really good question. How come when I list a house, no matter how hot it is, you can't find me? You certainly can't find me on page 1 of Google, okay? Is that the game online, is to get to page 1 of Google, right? Think about it, when you're doing a search for anything, if you find it on page 1, are you going to page 2?
Nope.
No, nobody does, okay? And the buyers don't know how it works, correct? So always naturally on page 1, you're going to see Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, some what I call big box brokerages, which I'm not, I'm a local and independent, okay? And other people that have mastered the internet. Well, they have bazillion dollars to do this and a lot of time. I don't. I'm still, I take well over 100 listings of homes just by myself every year. So I don't have time to do all this stuff, but I got mad enough to figure it out. So here's an example. I had these 2 listings right next to each other. It was a mother-daughter selling, moving out of state. They lived right next door. The houses were kind of entry level for that very desirable neighborhood. They were super cute. Not upgraded to the 9s, but they had nice flooring, nice trim, and a good neighborhood. So when I searched these addresses, I couldn't find me, right? Not that I'm interested in me, but I have a team, and I want my team members to get buyer leads on my listings. So this is what happened when I learned another marketing technique from my colleagues about how to get a lot of people in the open house. Rudy is a master at this, okay? We had a line going out the door. Those were the people in the open house. And we ended up getting 8 offers. It sold for $21,000 over asking. The asking price was $280. Okay, so this is what's going on. You guys know this? We are being robbed of our buyer traffic from all these big box companies. All right, robbed. And it used to be the whole purpose of getting listings is so you get more buyers, correct? Right? You're going to plan on at least 2 transactions out of every deal. It's not happening anymore. So the whole internet thing, just so you know, I'm a seasoned citizen. The average age of a real estate agent, I think, is in their 50s, right? But there are these tech companies that are just taking us for a ride, and the biggest one starts with the Z, okay? So we're kind of like have you ever heard the story of the frog? If you put a frog in a pot of cold water and you turn it on to boil, he'll just boil to death. But if you throw him in hot water, he'll jump out. That's what I think we are, okay? We are not really noticing what the heck is going on online, but the game is to get to page 1 of Google. So people think, all right, they really have, and I'm going to say this, Rudy, and it's going to offend some people. I think most of the real estate agents have advocated their marketing just to the MLS, right? Don't you think that's true? Well, this is how I market. I take nice pictures and put it in the MLS. Why do they need us then if we do that? Why can't they just take nice pictures and get a for sale by owner or pay somebody $500 to put it in the MLS? And there are people that do that, right?
That's a good point, Barb. That's why Barb said in the last 30 years there is a decline in the real estate commission, because as technology becoming more advanced, if all the agents do is put it in MLS, there is no value.
Right. There's no value, right? So here's an example. This is how I figured out the Zillow. Part of my marketing and my presentation with my sellers, I'm a premier agent with Zillow, was the coming soon. That's why I signed up for Zillow, because they have a coming soon section and a coming soon page. It's almost like a hint of getting insider access to off-market properties. And for the first year or so, it worked pretty well. But then last fall, we noticed something was kind of weird. We still have a couple of corporate clients that list homes for the asset management company for the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. I'm also a HUD listing broker, no HUD going on. Just so you know, they are selling these non-performing mortgages to these kind of hedge fund companies, and they're remodeling them, put them back on the market. I have one of those clients too. So every once in a while we will get, not very many, just a handful of these bank-owned homes, which is great because I can make the offer when we talk to a buyer. Would you be interested in getting access to all the homes that match your criteria from all the real estate companies, even bank-owned homes and corporate-owned homes and homes you can't find on the internet? Would that be helpful? And of course they're going to say yes, right? Because the buyers want what they can have. So we put this house up last fall on Zillow coming soon. It's on 5 acres. Kind of an interesting house. It was priced at $600,000, but for some reason it was red hot. And we had it there before the client told us to list the home. We had it up on Zillow for about 30 days. And what was interesting is we never got any leads for buyers. I was supposed to be exclusive on my own coming soon listings, but we didn't get any buyer leads. The only leads we got were real estate agents calling me, telling me that they had a buyer for my coming soon property. And I'm like, something's wrong. Something weird is going on. Okay, so here's another example. So this is one of my listings, and I was just doing a search fairly recently, and all of a sudden I looked at it and I'm like, whoa, wait. All these different companies, Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, and then if you go down the page, there were a bunch of other firms that were showing off my listing online, okay? Then I saw this one day, and I about had a meltdown. Basically, this company, Redfin, is this being recorded? Okay. They were doing a paid ad, so they were above the mapping tool, above Zillow, okay, for my listing, which was an active listing, offering a discounted commission. Is that against the rule in your state? It's not in mine, unfortunately, but it's not. I looked at the rules. It doesn't say, it says you can't negotiate an actively listed. It doesn't say you can't solicit. So I'm like, okay, I'm screwed there, but I'm not happy about this. And then when you click on it, then it recognizes that I'm the listing agent, and then it offers one of their agents to go show my listings. So have you guys noticed, where's Nate, David? That when you, okay, so when you put your house, when you put a listing on the market, that you don't get as many buyer calls, and it's mostly other agents having buyers to show your listing. Did you notice that? Yes. That's how we're advocating our marketing to the MLS, okay? Because we're not marketing. We're just sticking it in the MLS and letting all these automated feeds pick it up and go. All right. So I started doing video because most of the other agents aren't doing video, right? They're not going to go do a video of their listing. You know, they've got, remember all these companies are selling those electronic virtual tours, right? Which is just the camera going back and forth on a still photo. It's not very exciting. So I thought, well, I'm going to make it exciting. So I started doing what I call Vanna White videos walking through these houses. Okay. And so Angie, my assistant, and I will get together. She's got the selfie stick. And I'll start talking, and we'll walk through, and I'll, show them all about the house. I'll make a couple offers in that video to get them to call us. But the thing is, my competition is not doing videos on my listings. So that was one way that I could get to page 1 of the
Barb, sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure. Did you hear what Barb said? I make a video walking around the house, and what did she say? Making offers. Most real estate agents, Barb, well, first of all, most people don't do the video, but the one that do is like this. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This is the kitchen. This is the restroom. This is the toilet. I was like, no shit. I mean, like, it's kind of obvious. So the purpose of this video is not to say this is the restroom, this is the garage, this is the bathroom. The purpose of it is we are making an offer, and by now we already teach you what marketing is, what to make an offer on, what the buyers want. Again, we started with that. Buyers want homes. So now when Barb making an offer, the offer is going to sound something like, hey, in addition from this home, would you be interested to have access to homes just like this, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot, that's not available online. My list includes bank foreclosure, short sale, hot homes, homes that before it's become available online. Would that be interest to you? Does it make sense? I want to make sure, I don't want you to just watch it. There's a difference, it's not just about the video. There's a difference, the people who's at the top of the pyramid doing versus the masses. The masses is doing a video, this is the toilet. I was like, no kidding, I thought that's the garage. But when we do a video with a purpose, everything we do has a purpose. And the purpose is this, okay? That's good.
Okay. And then I also did some research on how to make sure it gets to page 1 of Google. So you've got to match the way the way Zillow, Realtor.com, and all the big box firms have the address. Every address you can find online, whether it's available or not. So you have to match the format exactly to get found. Because what do buyers do, right? When we advocated our MLS to Realtor.com, okay, we gave it up for the public to see.
Okay, so one of the things that we need to understand with Zillow, as agents, if you really understand how Zillow works, you should, if you don't have a love-hate relationship with Zillow, you should. Because as Barb said, you go through all this stuff to get the listing. She just named 50 different steps, and that was just one strategy to get listings and everything. And then you get it on Zillow, you finally get it on Zillow, and then Zillow, excuse my French, they go and they pimp your listing out to get buyers, and then they sell the buyers back to you. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how Zillow works. So I'm like, okay, I can't let them pimp me. How can I pimp them back? Right? So one of the things, I don't know if you guys know this, but on Zillow, at least in the Atlanta area, you put something in the MLS, and there's an IDX feed that goes directly to Zillow. Is it like that for you guys?
Yes.
Okay, did you know that you do not have to use the photos from the MLS feed? Did you know there's a button that you can click to say, instead of using the MLS feed photos, I'm going to use my own photos. Did y'all know that? No. It's a button there. So now, you can, instead of, because for at least in Georgia, there's rules in what you can put in the MLS. Like you can't put links to your website. You can't put, like, even if you have a photo with the yard sign in front of it, even though the yard sign is like blurred out, you're not even thinking about it, you're just taking a picture of the house, but if your yard sign is in it, in Georgia, they say no. You can't do any kind of advertising in the MLS. Is it like that for you guys too?
Yeah.
Okay, so now it behooves you to change these pictures out in Zillow because Zillow does not have those rules. So not only can you change the pictures in there, now you can start adding other stuff, like ads, like offers, like, okay, you don't like this house, I got 50 more. I've got a database with 9,000 buyers. I've got buyers in waiting. Sellers, I have buyers that want to buy your house. Buyers, I'm offering you this guarantee. So now you can use the same Zillow photos or use Zillow to advertise the other things that you want to do. You can put your personal phone number on all these different ads. You can say, like the ad that you put up, 7 costly mistakes that sellers are making when they're getting their home inspected. So now you have all these other things that you can use the same Zillow space that they're attracted to the property. We can now use that house, get them into the house, get them flipping through the photos, because that's what everybody does, right? They jump up in the morning, they get on the toilet, and they go through Zillow. Right? They're flipping through the photos. So now when they're flipping through those photos, plus we spend, I don't know if you guys do it, but we spend all this money on photos too, right? So again, Zillow, we spend all this money on Zillow, and then they sell us back our own buyers that we generated. So now that's my tip. To go in there and use that same space. Don't do the MLS feed photos. Upload your own photos and also put in some ads.